My best friend pulled me into an exclusive online gossip group to see something she called juicy. The picture that loaded of a man wearing nothing but a towel made my world tilt on its axis. It was my fiancé, Leo. In the next photo, he was lounging on the pristine white sheets of a hotel bed, still wearing the custom tuxedo I'd bought for our wedding day. He was surrounded by a group of stunning women, his arms draped around them possessively. My first thought was a desperate prayer, AI. It has to be a deep fake. But when I called his phone, it went straight to voicemail. The women in the group chat were buzzing. Someone found a real whale, one typed. We should all crash this party. A tremor started in my hands and spread through my entire body. Just then, Leo's best man posted a picture to his social media feed. The caption read, "Last night of freedom. Who wants to come keep two lonely guys company? Tips start at $8,888. Simultaneously, a new screenshot appeared in the gossip group. It was a text exchange. Getting married tomorrow, so tonight's the last hurrah. My best man and I are here. Can you bring a few more of your friends? I stared at the screen, a bitter mix of disbelief and fury clawing its way up my throat. In the photos, Leo looked ecstatic, reveling in the tension. There was no sign of hesitation, and certainly no hint that the images were manipulated. The self-deception was no longer possible. We had been together for 9 years. Just a month ago, in front of all our friends and family, he had proposed. I remembered the tears welling in Leo's eyes as he slid the ring onto my finger, promising to join my small family and love me forever. Why would he do this? The question was a shard of glass in my heart, twisting with every beat. Leo was my high school classmate, the undisputed heartthrob of our year. Girls flocked to him, but I was the quiet, ice queen, the one no one expected him to notice. I never understood why he chose me, the plain, awkward duckling. Now a memory surfaced, sharp and painful. He had once joked, "Claire, you're so good to me. Would you even get mad if I played around a little on the side?" He'd just come from a bar where he and his friends had been buying drinks for models. I thought that was the extent of it, just harmless fun. So I'd replied, "As long as you choose me as your wife in the end, I'll never leave you." How I regretted those words now. My phone was still pinging with congratulatory messages. The professional wedding photos we'd just taken were the top post on my social media. I let out a hollow laugh and sent Leo a single final text. "It's over. I'm canceling the engagement." The silence that followed was his answer. My heart sank into a cold, dark pit. He was too busy to reply. He was truly, utterly filthy. After deleting and blocking his number, I called the wedding planner to cancel everything. I took down the photos. Friends messaged asking what was wrong, but I didn't have the strength to answer. I walked into our apartment, the one decorated with festive red paper cuttings for our marriage. A wave of nausea hit me. I tore them from the walls, ripping them to shreds. In the closet, his groom's tuxedo was gone. Only my wedding dress remained, hanging like a lonely ghost. The irony was a physical blow. I wanted to burn it all. A new notification popped up from the group chat. A new photo. Leo's tuxedo was covered in lipstick stains and torn at the seams, spattered with fluids I didn't want to identify. The socialite who posted it added a comment. "They've completely ruined the groom's suit, lol. He said his ball and chain at home would just buy him a new one. I'd love to know who this woman is and if she has any idea what her husband-to-be is up to." Then another message from her. I asked if I could invite more people, and he said the more the merrier. "Anyone from the group want to come over?" My hands clenched into fists. I didn't just want to confront Leo. I wanted to find this woman and wipe that smug smirk off her face. Suddenly my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. I answered, and a voice exploded in my ear. "Claire, are you insane? You're going to cancel the wedding just because I didn't text you back? Do you have any idea how many guests are coming?" It was Leo. "What is wrong with you? I told you I was out with my best man. Why are you throwing a tantrum? If the wedding company hadn't called to confirm the cancellation, I would have never known you'd pull a stunt like this." I laughed, a cold, empty sound. Who was the insane one here? Wasn't it the man who, on the eve of his wedding, wore his tuxedo to an orgy with strangers? For 9 years I had made myself small for him. I gave him my entire salary, over $10,000 a month. I catered to his every whim, terrified of upsetting the prince. But he never appreciated it, constantly demanding expensive luxury goods. All my money was in his accounts, yet he'd say things like, "Even though I hold your money, I still want you to surprise me. Even a small, cheap gift would be nice." I spent months carving a lifelike wooden portrait of him. His response: "Instead of this worthless junk, you should have bought me a watch. Don't I need to look good when I go out?" So I took on freelance work to buy him designer goods. He'd look at the $5,000 watch and sneer. "Kept men get villas and Lamborghinis. With my looks, you're getting a bargain." Because I loved him, I always felt I wasn't enough. I hated myself for not being able to give him more. In love, I didn't care about who had the upper hand. I just wanted our feelings to be mutual. Now I saw it was all a pathetic delusion. Cheating isn't a one-time mistake. It's a pattern. I had no idea how many times he'd done this behind my back, but I knew one thing for sure. There would be no forgiveness. "It's over, Leo. Don't contact me again." "What did you just say?" he roared. I couldn't believe it. He cheated on me so blatantly, yet he still had the audacity to question me with such indignation. "I'm serious, Leo," I said, my voice like ice. "I'm breaking up with you." Without a second's hesitation, he flipped the blame. "So you're ending it because I missed one text? Don't push me, Claire, or I'll be the one to really end things. You don't want me to ignore you forever, do you?" He knew my weaknesses. For years, whenever we argued, he'd block me and give me the silent treatment. He knew my greatest fear was him shutting me out. But now I felt nothing. "Do whatever you want." I hung up and blocked his new number. Moments later, I got an alert that my social media had been logged into from another location. I was kicked out. When I tried to log back in, the password had been changed. I switched to a backup account and saw he had already posted, using my profile. The last post was a dare I lost. "I love Leo forever. He's my one and only husband." The photo he used was a candid he'd taken a few days ago. In it, he was handsome and smiling like a movie star. I, on the other hand, had my eyes closed mid-chew, my mouth open with a smear of soup he'd deliberately flicked onto my cheek. He loved taking unflattering photos of me, then basking in the comments about how such a handsome man was wasting himself on a slob. A minute later, his best man called me. "Claire, Leo is with you because you're a stable, family-oriented woman. And now you're canceling the wedding over a missed text? Can you be rational for 1 second?" He lectured. "Leo and I were exhausted from last night, and now we have to clean up your mess. This is ridiculous." A real mirthless laugh escaped me. The nerve of this man was truly something to behold. He'd committed the ultimate betrayal and was now using his friend as a mouthpiece to scold me. Exhausted from playing? Right. He'd spent all night tiring himself out with other women. He had no energy left for my feelings. The old me, the one who didn't know his true face, would have been begging for his forgiveness by now. But I didn't love him anymore. I hated him. I blocked his best man's number too. My phone rang again. Another unknown number. A wave of fury washed over me. I snatched it up, ready to scream. But the voice on the other end was calm and professional. "Hello, is this Miss Claire Moore? You informed us last night that you would not be continuing payments, so the hospital has disconnected your father's life support. His body has been moved to the morgue. When can you come to identify him?" The blood in my veins turned to ice. I was trembling so violently I could barely hold the phone. What did you say?" I stammered, my voice a strangled whisper. He repeated the information, but his words were a dull roar in my ears. My father. 2 years ago, he'd fallen and had been in the ICU ever since. His life sustained by machines that required timely payments. I never missed a payment. I hadn't received any calls yesterday. At that exact moment, a text message came through from yet another new number. It was Leo. "I've handled your little tantrum. Unblock me right now, or I won't pay your father's medical bills." I stared at the text, a pure murderous hatred consuming me. All my money was in his accounts. Even the thousands I earned from my side jobs went straight to him. I thought his betrayal was the worst he could do, but I was wrong. He knew my father's life depended on those payments, and he had used it as a weapon against me. He sent another text, saying he'd accidentally ruined his suit, and I needed to go with him to pick out a new one immediately. I stared straight ahead, my eyes burning with unshed tears. I typed back one word. Fine. If he wanted to marry me so badly, then I would give him the wedding he deserved. I went to the hospital alone. I claimed my father's body. I arranged for his cremation. And then with my own 2 hands I buried his ashes. Kneeling at his grave, I made a vow. I would destroy Leo. I would do it in front of everyone and make him pay for what he had done. The next morning, Leo and his groomsmen were at my door, pounding on it with abandon. Claire, do you want to get married or not? If we don't get a new tux now, are we just going to cancel the reception tonight? He yelled, oblivious to the neighbors. I pulled the door open, my face a blank mask. He glared at me, his brow furrowed in a petulant scowl. I don't care what your problem is, you made me angry, he declared. The $38,000 bride pickup fee is now $58,000, and you need to buy all my groomsmen the latest top-of-the-line smartphones as gifts. He was marrying into my family, and he was demanding a pickup fee from me. The audacity was boundless. Anything else? I asked, my voice flat. He was too self-absorbed to notice the change in me. He lifted his chin arrogantly. If it weren't for how good you are to me, I'd never marry a boring woman like you. You only make what, $100,000 a year? Do you know I've turned down millionairesses who make 10 times that? I'm only asking for a few small things, and instead of being grateful, you dare to give me attitude. Looking at his tyrannical face, I honestly couldn't remember what I ever loved about him. He reeked of cheap perfume, and a dark purplish mark, a hickey, was visible on his neck. He used to tell me he had sensitive skin and bruised easily. I'd never doubted him. Now I realized he was just playing too rough. A delivery driver appeared, looking bewildered at the crowd blocking the door. Ma'am, your breakfast? Before I could take it, Leo snatched the bag, threw it on the ground and stomped on it. Eat, that's all you think about. We still have to pick out your wedding dress. I calmly told the driver to leave and turned to Leo. Let's go pick out your tuxedo then. He snorted. About time you saw sense. I smiled thinly and placed the watch I'd prepared into his hand. You wanted this, didn't you? It's yours. His friends immediately crowded around. Wow, that's the limited edition. It's impossible to find, and scalpers are charging a fortune. Your fiancé really loves you, man. Leo strapped the watch on, his face a mask of smug satisfaction, though he tried to sound unimpressed. It's just a watch. Don't think this means I've forgiven you for blocking me yesterday. We're not done with that. I said nothing, smiling as he and his friends started browsing for bridal shops on their phones, picking out only the most expensive luxury brands and talking about the fine cigars they would buy. They were treating me like an ATM. I accompanied them to the boutique, silent the whole way. In the shop, my phone vibrated. A new message in the group chat. The groom trying on suit's nice body. The picture was of a man, his face obscured, showing off his abs. The tattoo on his collarbone was unmistakable. It was Leo. He had kicked everyone out of the dressing room to try on clothes alone. He hadn't forgotten me, though. He sent me a photo of himself, fully dressed. How's this one? The irony was suffocating. The man I had loved for nearly a decade was a complete player. The group chat was egging the woman on, telling her to ask him out, demanding a live stream. I typed a cool reply into the chat. From what I know, he's getting married today. I doubt you'll be able to get him to meet you. That was all the encouragement she needed. Just you watch, she replied. A moment later, Leo emerged from the dressing room. He was tall, and the suit was impeccably tailored. He looked like a model who had just stepped out of a magazine. A shame he was rotten to the core. A slow smile crept across my face. He strode over to me. I left something at home. This suit is fine. You pay for it. And remember to send a car to pick me up tonight. With that, like an emperor issuing a decree, he turned and left. I gave Leo's ID information to the sales clerk and walked out. The clerk, panicked, tried to chase after him, but Leo had already hailed a cab and was gone. He always turned his phone to silent or off when he was playing, to ensure I couldn't disturb him. I opened my phone. The group chat had over 99 new messages. The woman, Tasha, had posted a screenshot. Her text to Leo. You look so hot in that suit. Can you wear it to come see me? Leo's reply. You little vixen. I have to be at my wedding in 8 hours. You're insatiable. Her. Please. Leo, fine. One last time before I have to start playing the good husband. Send me the location. The last message was her, sending the address of a high-end hotel. She then tagged me in the chat, a digital sneer. You said I couldn't get him to come out, didn't you? Not only is he coming, he's paying for the room too. The chat filled with praise for her skills, with others asking for her secrets on how to land such an obedient man. I took a deep breath as a notification for a $2,000 charge hit my phone. The hotel room. He was using my card. I sent Leo one final message. "Where are you?" He replied instantly, full of rage. "I told you I forgot something. Are you starting again? You need to calm down." When I tried to reply, a red exclamation mark appeared. He had blocked me. He had used up his last chance. I arrived at the wedding venue early and made my final arrangements. The guests were all there, but the groom was conspicuously absent. Leo's parents were growing anxious. I walked over, a mask of innocent concern on my face. "Uncle, Auntie, why isn't Leo here yet?" His mother's face soured. "It must be because you made him angry. My Leo is always so considerate. You'd better go appease him." His father chimed in. "And that social media post you made yesterday canceling the wedding was completely out of line. You owe us an explanation. He's our only son. Since he's marrying into your family, you'll need to add another $200,000 to the dowry. And after the wedding, there's no need for your sick father to stay in the hospital. He's just a burden. Leo is your future." I wasn't surprised to hear them say this. They had always been greedy, often covering for Leo's bad behavior. In the past, my love for him made me endure it. Now a derisive laugh escaped me. It wasn't time for the reveal yet, so I just smiled and went to greet other guests. They mistook my silence for submission. "See," his mother crowed to a nearby guest. "This girl is a total simp. She's obsessed with our Leo. She'll agree to anything we say." The MC was on stage, starting the ceremony. The minutes ticked by. Leo was still a no-show. I checked the group chat. A message from Tasha 10 minutes ago. What a battle. Personally escorting the groom back to his wedding now. The suit got ruined again. Oops. And another. He's so generous. I've decided to make him my personal ATM from now on. The MC's voice boomed. And now let's welcome our groom. Just then a text from Leo arrived. Tell them to open the doors. I nodded to the MC. Let's give a warm welcome to our groom. The grand doors swung open. At the end of the flower-strewn aisle stood Leo, dressed in a white suit. It wasn't the one from the morning. This one was clearly ill-fitting. His hair was styled, and he looked more handsome than I had ever seen him. This was the moment I had dreamed of for years. But his actions had poisoned every last bit of that dream. He started walking towards me, completely unaware that the large screen behind him had flickered to life and was beginning to play a video. A murmur went through the crowd. Leo's parents, their faces white with terror, pointed a trembling finger at the screen. What is that? Turn it off. Turn it off now. Leo, oblivious, beamed at me and held out his hand. What are you waiting for? Give me your hand. Don't you want the ring? I picked up the ring, let out a cold laugh, and threw it on the floor. What are you doing? He roared. At that same instant, the sound of moans and grunts filled the hall. Leo whipped around in shock. On the screen behind him was a video of him and another woman, no, several women, in a hotel room. It was graphic, explicit, and utterly damning. He screamed, his voice cracking. It's not real. It's AI. It's all fake. Turn it off. The hall descended into chaos. I was the calm eye of the storm. I took the microphone from the stunned MC. Since everyone has seen the truth, I won't bother with further explanations. The wedding between me and Leo is officially cancelled. What did you say? Leo spun back to face me. His composure even now was astounding. You're going to cancel our wedding over some fake videos? He accused, his voice dripping with righteous indignation. We've been together for 9 years, and you have so little trust in me? The old me would have crumbled under his questioning, apologizing and making excuses for him. But the watch I'd given him had a micro camera inside. The videos were real. His infidelity was real. Leo's mother finally snapped out of her stupor and ran to shut off the main power. But the screen was on an independent circuit. The hall plunged into darkness, but the video kept playing, the images and sounds even clearer now, more obscene. Claire, listen to me, Leo pleaded, his voice cracking. It's all fake, just calm down. I pushed his hand away. Do I look angry to you, Leo? He stared at me, then his expression shifted. He tried to look vulnerable. Do you believe me? It was the first time he had ever shown weakness in front of me. But I knew it was only because he realized his cash cow was about to walk out the door for good. In a corner, a woman was frantically taking photos with her phone, sending them to someone. I opened my phone. The gossip group was exploding. Girls, it's all kicking off. The groom got caught. Front row seat to the drama. Tasha, the woman from the hotel, typed, "Wow, you're brave going to the wedding. Aren't you afraid of getting caught?" The woman in the corner replied, "No way. The bride has no idea who I am. So what if I slept with her fiancé? What can she do about it?" Tasha, "I hope they break up. I'm waiting to marry him and become a rich wife." A wave of congratulations for her success followed. My face hardened. I walked directly towards her corner. "Claire, what are you doing?" Leo panicked, grabbing my arm. I shook him off, closed the distance in 3 strides, and slapped the woman across the face. She tried to fight back, but years of military training had made me strong. I had her on the ground in seconds. "I'm calling the police," she shrieked. "You can't just attack people." "I'm calling the police." I laughed. "I'm the one who should be calling the police." Just as I said it, the main lights came back on, and a line of uniformed officers walked into the hall. I nodded at them. "That's her. Thank you for coming." The woman on the floor stared in disbelief. "Why are you arresting me? I'm the victim here." An officer coldly presented his badge. "Ma'am, you are under arrest for crimes related to adultery interfering with the military marriage, and for the distribution of obscene materials. Please come with us. The video evidence has been verified." Another officer announced to the stunned crowd. "It is authentic." "Military marriage?" Leo echoed, stunned. He had never cared enough about my past to know I was a decorated veteran. The police statement erased any lingering doubts the guests might have had about the video's authenticity. Who would doubt the police? Leo watched the woman being led away, still thinking this was just about his cheating. He turned to me, his face a mask of contrition. "I'm sorry, Claire. I really know I was wrong. If you forgive me, I promise I'll be a good husband from now on." I just stared at him, my face a cold stone. His parents rushed forward. "Don't air your dirty laundry in public," his mother hissed. "There were better ways to handle this. Now we've both lost face." "Exactly," his father added. "Leo was just having a bit of fun. He promised he'd settle down after the wedding. What more do you want?" It was truly a case of a rotten apple not falling far from the rotten tree. Leo for once bowed his head. "I promise, Claire. After we're married, I'll stop messing around. I swear." He looked up at me, a pathetic, pleading expression on his face. As if to say, "I've apologized in front of everyone, you have to forgive me now." The sight of him made me sick. I took a step back. "Save your apologies. You can tell them to the police." At that moment, the boutique staff arrived with another group of officers. "Officer, that's the man. He ran off with our tuxedo without paying." Leo stared at me, horrified. "You didn't pay?" "I'm not marrying you," I said with a sweet, vicious smile. "Why would I pay for your suit?" The venue manager, seeing his chance, rushed forward to demand payment for the reception. I just pointed at Leo. "The catering, the venue. All of it, he's your man. I contacted you all about a refund. Whoever contacted you to reinstate the booking is the one who pays the bill." Rage finally flooded Leo's eyes. "You really want to burn everything to the ground, don't you? Are you just now figuring that out?" I replied. I turned and walked away. He tried to follow, but the creditors mobbed him. "Do you think you'll find anyone better after our Leo?" His mother screamed after me. "Our son is kind and handsome. There's a line of women waiting to marry him." They had no idea that no one would want to marry a publicly shamed cheater. As I reached the door, I paused and called back one last thing. "That $500,000 I gave you was a dowry contingent on marriage. Since you cheated before the wedding, you are legally required to return all of it. If you don't, you can expect a lawsuit." He tried to use my debit card to pay, but I had already frozen all my accounts. I had also hired a lawyer to demand he return every cent he had ever taken from me. My salary for the past 9 years totaled well over $1 million. The $38,000 left in the account was my most recent paycheck. I would rather feed that money to dogs than let him have it. Unable to pay, he came to find me, weeping. "Claire, do you really have to do this?" It was a moment of weakness. "Why can't you forgive me?" I laughed out loud. "A moment of weakness? You mean you had a moment of weakness and met a woman, a moment of weakness and got a hotel room, a moment of weakness and took off your pants, and a moment of weakness and agreed to a gangbang? He shook his head frantically. No, it's not like that, let me explain. I held up my phone showing him the group chat. I have all the evidence I need. You'd better pay me back immediately, or don't blame me for being merciless. His eyes finally turned red. He dropped to his knees in front of me. Claire, you know I don't have that kind of money. My parents don't love me, they only care about my younger brother. They took all the money to buy him a house and a wife. Can't you just let me go? His parents didn't love him. What did that have to do with me? Why should I let him go? I let him go, but would he let my father go? Because of him, my father died alone in a cold hospital. I never even got to say goodbye. A firestorm of rage I could no longer contain erupted inside me. I made a call. Come get him. 2 large men, the security I had hired, appeared. You will kneel at my father's grave and you will beg for his forgiveness. Leo's pupils shrank. What are you talking about? Your father's in the hospital. What grave? The bodyguards dragged him to a car and shoved him inside. We drove towards the cemetery. Claire? What's wrong with you? He pleaded, still hoping to find a soft spot in my heart. You were never like this. You never used to get angry with me. I yanked the car door open and gestured for the guards to pull him out. You know I used to love you. So why would you do it? Why would you betray me? Do you have any idea that you killed my father? The guards threw him to the ground in front of a freshly dug grave. He landed on his knees. He scrambled to get up, but froze when he saw the headstone. Beloved father. Devotedly, Claire Moore. He looked back at me, his face a mask of terror. Claire, this is a joke, right? He knew how much my father meant to me. He knew if my father was really dead, I would show him no mercy. He crawled towards me. Claire, I don't know what happened. It has nothing to do with me, I swear. You don't know? Weren't you the one who cut off my father's medical payments? Weren't you the one who spent all the money in my account? I had already checked the bank records. The night before the hospital payment was due, Leo and his friends had partied all night at a club, buying rounds of expensive champagne for everyone, bragging that he was covering the entire club's tab. He maxed out the card. When the hospital tried to process the payment, it failed. They called him. He could have told me. I would have borrowed money, taken a loan, anything. But he said nothing. His face was ashen. It wasn't on purpose. I thought being a little late with the payment wouldn't matter. If you hadn't made me so angry, I never would have said those things on the text. I didn't mean it. My only family in this world was dead because of him. Whether he meant it or not was irrelevant. I wanted him to pay. One of the bodyguards grabbed his head and forced it down. I slapped him across the face, the sound echoing in the quiet cemetery. You killed my father. You will kneel and kowtow to him. He looked at me, his eyes begging for mercy. But my face was carved from stone. Or do I have to force you? He finally understood. Nothing he could say would save him. He began to slam his forehead against the hard earth, sobbing. The dull thudding sound was the only noise in the gray, silent landscape. After what felt like an eternity, his forehead was a bloody mess. He looked up, a grotesque smile on his face. Claire, I've apologized. You should forgive me now, right? I turned and walked away. He tried to follow, but a group of police officers were walking towards him. Claire, he cried out in panic. Didn't you say you'd let me go if I apologized? I laughed, a sound full of scorn. When did I ever say that? You killed my father. Apologizing is the least you should do. An officer snapped handcuffs onto his wrists. Sir, you are under arrest for marriage fraud and grand larceny. Please come with us. Over the years I had earned millions. Now my accounts were nearly empty. If he couldn't produce the money, not only him, but his parents and his brother would all go to jail. His parents, still not giving up, hounded me, even chasing me to my office building. My son was with you for 9 years. How dare you demand we pay back the money? His mother shrieked. Wasn't his youth worth anything? Wasn't his body worth anything? You can't just use him and throw him away. I had never encountered such shamelessness. I was with him for 9 years, and he has control over millions of dollars of my assets. You think I wasn't good to him? He was the one who cheated. He's the one you should be yelling at. And for your information, I added, my voice ringing out for all my nearby colleagues to hear. In all our 9 years together, we never once slept together. A collective gasp went through the small crowd. His parents were stunned into silence. It was unheard of, but it was the truth. Leo had always claimed he was conservative and couldn't accept premarital sex. He said if I loved him, I would respect him. I thought he was a man of principles. I never imagined that the saint he pretended to be was the biggest sinner of all. His parents, momentarily speechless, quickly recovered. His mother started crying. I know you're hurt, dear, but Leo really knows he was wrong. The boy is in a detention center right now. Doesn't your heart ache for him at all? He didn't touch you because you're not that attractive, you know? He's paid a price. I've scolded him. If you two just make up, he'll never do it again. Then all this talk about dowries and expenses can just be forgotten. We're all family. Yes, his father added. You'll be bearing his children soon. Why quibble over a little money? I had to laugh. Bear his children? Are you sure he wouldn't just give me some disease? His father was about to swear on his life, but I had no more patience. I motioned to the building security. These people are causing a disturbance. Please remove them. If they refuse, you can call the police. I have no relationship with them. No relationship? His mother screamed as the guards dragged her away. You're my son's wife. You can't do this. My lawyer called. The court had accepted the case. For embezzling such a large sum, Leo was facing at least 10 years in prison. His family wouldn't escape either. They had encouraged him to transfer my money. I had bank records, surveillance videos of them making withdrawals together. The evidence was ironclad. They were all arrested before they could even start their next round of whaling. I watched it all, my heart cold, and waited for the trial. The day the verdict came down, the weather was beautiful and clear. All their assets were seized to compensate me. There was still a shortfall of $400,000. Leo was sentenced to 11 years. His parents got 5 and 6 years respectively. His brother got 3. The women he cheated with were charged and convicted for public debauchery. He thought it was over. But then I filed another lawsuit for wrongful death. You're lying, he screamed in the courtroom, slamming his hands on the table. I didn't kill anyone. I smiled. You knew the consequences of stopping my father's medical payments, and you did it anyway. You can save your excuses for the judge. I left the rest to my lawyer. I had promised I would make him pay. Ruining his reputation was just the beginning. End.